again, this is how the property pays the investor. I'm not paying, you're not paying the investor. There's no guarantee. You're not guaranteeing anything. The property, you're going to share the results. So the property generates monthly cash flow, and the property generates equity. We're creating equity on the back end. Remember, we're creating equity through forced appreciation. We're potentializing. We're creating equity that way. We're creating equity just by paying off the mortgage. So let's say 5 years down the road, when you sell the property, you harvest all that equity as cash, and you share some of that with your private lenders. Or 5 years down the road, you refinance that property, you harvest some of that equity as cash, and you share part of that with your private lenders. And all along, you're sharing some of the monthly cash flow that you are creating. So the property is paying. They're getting a portion of the cash flow. They're getting a portion of the back-end equity. So when I say I pay 12%, I don't pay 12% out of cash flow. Can't afford to do that. Some of it comes out of the cash flow. The bulk of it's going to come out of the back end. When we have these rules, they call them liquidity events. Liquidity events. When the big checks get cut, you share some of that. So that on average, they're getting 12% per year. Make sense, everybody? Sometimes a very common misperception. I can't afford to pay that out of cash flow, because you're right, you can't, you're not. You pay some portion out of what the property cash flow is. The bulk of it's going to come out of the back end, out of the equity. And there are some lenders that'll be happy with, just give me a portion of the equity. I don't need any more cash flow. I don't need any more tax burden. Which is great news for you, because you keep all the cash flow. One of the strategies we teach in the Raising Private Money School. My job today is just introduce you to get your mind thinking about all the possibilities. Then you got to get the systems and apply these systems. But all along, remember, there's no guarantees. There's no personal guarantees. There's no personal guarantees. No. Not when it comes to private money. That's not the way it works. If you want a personal guarantee, I'm not going to give you 12% for that. That's what banks do. That's what banks do. This is not banks. This is private lenders. These are private transactions. So there's no personal guarantees. Now, they are, in a minute, we're going to talk about how we secure the property and minimize the risk, but you're not personally guaranteeing anything. So forget about that. Very first deal I ever did, I bought a fourplex. 100% seller financing. Never asked, no personal guarantee, never asked to see my financial statement, never asked to see my credit scores. It's just the way it works. I'll give you some examples here in a moment.